All rise. Judge Vanderbeek Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1039, White case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Mrs. White, what brings you here today?
Well, Judge Vonda, nice to see you again. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Nice to see you too. And it's interesting to see you sitting on this side.
Yes, well.
With Mr. White?
Yes, Damien is here today. He's finally back from building that bridge.
Right, but it's interesting that you're here making a request because the last time you were here, his ex-wife was making a request for child support and you gave her such a hard time.
Well, you know, back then I was so blinded by love and a bunch of other things, and now
Isn't that ironic?
Dollar signs.
All right, folks, let's jump into another fascinating child support case. Mrs. White is here seeking support for her 2 kids as she and Mr. White go through their divorce. The judge quickly points out the irony. Mrs. White, who once gave Mr. White's ex-wife a hard time about child support, is now on the receiving end. She admits karma's come full circle, setting the stage for a fair but tense conversation. Let's see how this plays out.
Yes, I believe that I have definitely learned my lesson and karma has definitely come around.
Okay, well, you said it. But continue. What brings you here?
So I would like to request child support for our 2 beautiful children.
Okay.
I cannot send them to school on my own. I don't want to pull them out. You know, they have their friends and they're doing so well, and I would hate to make them change schools.
Okay. And you said that you're paying tuition?
Yes.
Are you paying it or is Mr. White paying it?
Well, when we were together, we were paying it. But, you know, now that I have to find a new job and to subsequent the money that I no longer have coming in, I need his help.
Okay. All right. And how much is tuition?
Tuition is about $5,000 a year per child.
Okay. Per year?
Yes.
Okay. This better be a pretty great school.
Yeah. It's connected to Yale and Harvard.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, how was the bridge? Because you definitely didn't show up for court the last time.
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm guessing everything went well.
I'm a civil engineer, Your Honor, and I was in Italy for a conference, not the building of the Bridge of Gibraltar.
Oh, okay.
You must have lied to
Well,
me.
didn't know.
Apparently didn't know that there's a large step up from being housewife to employed.
Oh. I caught that. Continue.
So I'm currently paying the insurance for our children.
Okay. And how much is that?
$500?
$500. Okay. And that's for both children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Continue.
Now,
Mrs. White steps up to present her case. She's asking for child support to help cover the $5,000 annual tuition for each of their 2 kids who attend a prestigious school with ties to Yale and Harvard. She explains that she's struggling to handle the costs on her own, especially as she transitions from being a stay-at-home mom to re-entering the workforce. The judge listens closely, acknowledging the hefty price tag of private school tuition. Mrs. White also reveals she's currently paying $500 a month for the kids' health insurance. The tension in the room builds as Mr. White gets ready to respond. Let's see how this unfolds.
I don't understand exactly why my loving wife would think that in combination that we are paying for our children, considering I'm the only one that works. And quite frankly, she does not.
Okay.
And only spends.
That's not
Okay.
true. That's not true.
Ma'am, he's speaking. Okay. So, you guys are going through a divorce. She now is getting ready to work because she's not working yet, right?
From what I'm told, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. And this tuition, is it accurate what she said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. That's a pretty expensive school. But I mean, if, you know, it has its affiliations, I definitely understand. $500 for health insurance. And how many other children do you have?
Just the one other with my ex-wife.
Okay. And then you all have 2 together. All right. And I do have your child support amount. Giving you credit for the health insurance as well as credit for your other children. Your child support amount comes out to $1,391. Okay. Now let me explain to you how that affects you. You're definitely going to have to get a job.
Oh, I do have a job.
Well, you're definitely going to have to continue working that job, because if you notice, his child support is only about close to $1,400. You said tuition is about $5,000 a year per child.
Right.
So after he pays child support, he does not have to give you anything extra. You understand that?
Oh, I completely understand.
And you understand that you will be covering the difference.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're okay with that?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Mr. White steps forward, pushing back on Mrs. White's request. He questions why she expects him to carry the financial load alone, pointing out that he's the sole breadwinner and has been covering the kids' expenses, including health insurance. The judge digs deeper, asking about Mr. White's income and other financial responsibilities, like support for a child from a previous marriage. While Mrs. White's plea is emotional, Mr. White remains calm and composed. The tension in the room is thick as the judge weighs the facts and prepares to make a decision. Let's see how this plays out.
Is there anything further? Sounds pretty straightforward to me.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further?
Can I just let you know that I do have a legitimate job, okay? Like, I have my own hair care business. It's starting
I thought that was a question for me. Are you talking to him?
Well, I'm just letting both of you know that I do have a legitimate job.
Okay,
you
great.
know, and it's doing pretty
Congratulations.
well.
That is wonderful. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
The judge doesn't mince words. She calculates Mr. White's child support obligation at $1,391 per month, factoring in his health insurance contributions and support for his other child. While this amount covers his basic obligation, the judge makes it clear it won't fully cover the $10,000 annual tuition for their 2 kids. Mrs. White will need to step up and cover the difference, and the judge stresses that she'll have to keep working to make ends meet. The ruling is fair but firm, reminding both parents that raising children is a shared responsibility. No excuses, just the reality of co-parenting. As the case wraps up, the judge reflects on the legal principles in play. In Texas, child support is calculated based on income, financial obligations, and factors like health insurance and other dependents. The judge emphasizes the importance of both parents stepping up to support their children's well-being, particularly when it comes to education and health care. The episode ends with a call to action. If you know someone in a similar situation, share their story. These kids are shaped by the decisions made in child support court, and every ruling impacts their future.